What do you mean by resilient? Which means quickly recover from whatever the threats happen, it should recover quickly. ARPANET was developed in late 1960s by the US Department of Defenses, that is DoD. So this ensures data transfer meets performance requirements, especially for applications like video conferencing and online gaming. Hello everyone, welcome to the session 2 of Unit 1. Myself, Chandana C, Faculty of Computer Science Department, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Let us have a look into our agenda of this session. Today, we are going to discuss regarding the topics 3 phases of cybersecurity, advent of internet, then internet infrastructure for data transfer and governance, internet society, and we are going to study about some of the regulations of cyberspace. So these are some of the topics today I am going to discuss with you. Firstly, let us move on to the 3 phases of cybersecurity. So here we have 3 phases. The first phase is the prevention phase. We can call it as a protection phase also. What does it involve? It involves some of the security measures. The name itself tells prevention phase. So we need to prevent from the security threats. So what are the precautions we can take to prevent from the security threats? So we need to install firewalls. Then we need to install the antivirus softwares. Then ensuring the accessing controls. These are some of the prevention methods we can take in the prevention phase. Next we have detection phase or monitoring and identification phase. So what do you mean by detecting phase? So as the name tells, detecting the viruses and monitoring the systems to detect the threats. What are some of the tools and techniques we are using in this phase? That is by applying the intrusion detection system. So we can detect the threats which are occur in our systems. Finally, we have the response and recovery phase. This phase minimizes the damages and it restores normal operation after an incident. So this is how the response and recovery phase works. So the organization which is going to install a internet, this should have implement all these 3 phases. Why it needs? To ensure the robust and resilient security posture. What do you mean by resilient? Which means quickly recover from whatever the threats happen, it should recover quickly. This is all about the 3 phases of cyber security. Next, we will move on to the advent of internet. Advent of internet is nothing but arrival of internet. How this internet arrived? The first known group of interconnected computers, which is considered as a precursor. For what? For the modern internet. That they called it as ARPANET. So which means Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. ARPANET was developed in late 1960s by the US Department of Defenses, that is DoD. Then they call it as DARPA. This system was used to transfer confidential data between the military. The Defense of Department used this ARPANET to transfer a confidential data between the military. Next, we have the internet service providers. So, which are the internet service providers? Nowadays, we have lot of them like Airtel, Jio, BSNL. So, they began to arise in the late 1980s. So, then the internet was fully commercialized by the US in the year 1995. This is how the internet come to arrival. Now, let us move into the history of the internet. It can be segmented into 3 phases. So, here the history, how the history begins to the internet, we are divided into 3 phases. The first one is innovation phase. This innovation phase was from 1961 to 1974. So, this period we call it as a innovation phase. Second, we have the institutionalization phase. The period of this phase is from 1975 to 1995. Then finally, we have commercialization phase. So, from 1995 till date or till now, so it is running. This commercialization phase is on the field now. Let us have a look into one by one now. Firstly, we have the innovation phase. The fundamental building blocks of the internet is what? That is packet switching hardware. Then the communication protocol called the TCP/IP. So this was used during the innovation phase. Then client-server computing were conceptualized. The concept called client-server was implemented in the actual and hardware software. So these are some of the concepts we used in the innovation phase. That is, first thing is the internet packet switching we used. Then communication protocols like TCP/IP we used. Then the concept called client server was implemented in the innovation phase. Next, we have the institutionalization phase. Here, the two large institutions, that is, one is the Department of Defense and the National Science Foundation. So, these provided a funding and legitimation for the fledgling internet. With legitimation means they validate this, whether the internet is working properly or not. Can we give the fund to this for the fledge of this internet? So this was the history of internet in the institutionalization phase. Next, we will move on to the commercialization phase. So this is from 1995 to the present we are using in each and everyone's house, right? So the US government encouraged these private corporations to take over and expand the internet backbone as well as the local service beyond the military installation and college campuses to the rest of the population around the world. So this is how it becomes a commercialization. The internet service providers who take over this internet, and the US government made it possible to all the populations in the world to access this internet. These three phases were the history of internet. Next, we will move on to the internet infrastructure for data transfer and governance. Internet infrastructure for data transfer and governance, it encompasses the physical and virtual systems. So, infrastructure means it cannot contain only a single computer system or a single wire. It should contain a virtual, physical and virtual system. It should contain a physical and virtual systems. Then protocols. Then some regulations, that is rules, to enable the security, efficiency and reliable exchange of data across the global network. So these are some of the infrastructure where the internet needs to transfer the data. This infrastructure plays a critical role. So where it is going to play a critical role? Data privacy, security and compliance with regulations. So here they are going to play a major role. Then the key components and considerations for internet infrastructure related to data transfer and governance. Next, we will have a look into some of the key components, which are those. So initially we have the network infrastructure. So it acts as a backbone network which contains the high speed and long distance networks. Then it should have a last mile connectivity, which means it is connected through wired or wireless technologies. Wired means it comes a LAN, Ethernet cable we are using. Then in the wireless technologies, 5G, Wi-Fi we are using. Next we have data centers. Data centers is nothing but a storage house, right? So it is a storage devices like cloud computing and data storage. This is about the network infrastructure. Next we have protocols and standards. Under the protocols we have internet protocol. It is a primary foundation for the communication. It ensures that data packets can be routed across the network. Next we have transport layer security. It encrypts the protocol for the secure data transfer. Next, we have Hypertext Transfer Protocol, that is HTTP and HTTPS. It adds up the security layer to the Hypertext Transfer Protocol for the data transfer. Next, we have DNS-SEC, which means Domain Name System Security. It enhances the domain name system with the security through digital signature. Next, we have the data centers and cloud services. So, which are the major providers of the cloud services? We have Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. So, these are some of the data centers and cloud services we have. Next is data governance and regulations. So, firstly, we have data privacy regulations. So, some of the countries have made some rules and regulations like GDPR in Europe. Next, CCPA in California. So, these are some of the countries which have made some regulations for the data privacy. Next, we have data retention policy. So, policies means after some period, so this is going to, the rules and regulations is going to renewal, isn't it? So, for storing and managing of the data, it has some rules, okay, some policies it is going to manage. Next, we have data access controls. The system is going to restrict the unauthorized users to access or modify the data. Next, we have data encryption. So, this looks after whether the data is encrypted to protect the data from unauthorized users. So, next we will come across the cyber security. It includes the firewall, intrusion detection system, then regular security audits. So, these are essential to protect the data during the transfer. Next, we have the quality of service. So, this ensures data transfer meets performance requirements, especially for applications like video conferencing and online gaming. So, while watching movies or playing a video games, if the video is not properly visible, then we can decide how much quality it is having. So, this comes under the quality of service. It should meet the performance requirements based on the user. Next, we have international collaboration. So, not only a single country can use the internet. So, the international means some or the other, two or more countries that should have a cooperation among the nations. It is essential. Why? To establish international norms and agreements related to data transfer and governance. So, after discussing all this network infrastructure, cyber security, protocols, then quality of service, we have at last, that is data transfer agreements. Agreements like privacy shield and standard contractual clauses facilitate the lawful transfer of data across the borders. So, these are some of the internet infrastructure for data transfer and governance. So, these are some of the key components under this topic. Next, we will look into a topic, internet society. So, it is a professional membership society. So, it may contain a single person or a group of person, and that promotes the use and future development of the internet. What the society is going to tell? It is going to promote the use and future development of the internet. It is governed by an elected board of trustees. This internet society coordinates various groups responsible for internet infrastructure. So, what it is going to include? It is going to include the Internet Engineering Task Force, that is IETF. It develops technical standards for the internet. What it is going to do? It is going to develop some standards for the internet. Next, we have the Internet Architecture Board, that is IAB. What it is going to do? It has a responsibility for the architecture and adjudicates on disputes about standards. Adjudicates means it is a formal judgment on a dispute manner. If anything dispute happens, so it is going to take care. That is IAB. Next, we have the Internet Engineering Steering Group, that is IESG. So this along with the IAB, it reviews the standard proposed by the IETF. So these various groups which are included in the Internet Society. Next, we look into the regulation of cyberspace. So it refers to the legal, social and technical mechanism it is used to control behavior and activities on the Internet and other digital networks. It aims to ensure safety, privacy, fairness and security in the online environment while balancing freedom of expression and innovation. What it is going to tell us? What are the regulations? So, it refers to the legal, then social and technical mechanisms. Why they are using it on the internet? Because to have a safer safety and privacy, security on the online environment. Everybody in the world are watching our videos or it may be images, photos, right? So, to protect our data from the unauthorized users, we are going to use this regulations on cyberspace. Here we have some regulations on cyberspace to protect our data. Okay. Here we have some of the challenges in regulating the cyberspace. Let us have a look into it one by one. So first one is jurisdiction issue. So cyber crimes often involve actors in multiple countries. So not only a single country can access our data. So it is accessed by multiple countries. Next, balancing freedom and control. That is, over-regulation can violate free speech. So someone can feel shy to open up his speech because of this over-regulation. Next, technological advancements. So some laws often lag behind the fast evolving technology. Anonymity and encryption. It makes tracking and law enforcement difficult. Why? Anonymity means anonymous. So the person we may not know who is he. The name of the person we don't know, where he is living we don't know. So this makes us difficult to track him and the law of enforcement will be difficult to trace him. These are some of the challenges we are facing in the regulation of cyber security. Next, we have the key aspects of cyberspace regulations, which are those legal frameworks. So governments enact laws and regulations to address who they are. Cyber crimes. Who are the cyber crimes? Those who are hacking, identity theft and cyber bullying. Next, data protection and privacy. So which are those? GDPR and IT Act in India. Next, we have intellectual property. So this comes under the copyright and trademarks. Example. Next, content regulations, which means misinformation or pornography. So these are some of the legal frameworks where the cyberspace regulations have been enhanced. Next, international cooperation, which are those, since cyberspace is borderless, international treaties and agreements like Budapest Convention on Cybercrime help combat cross-border cyber threat. So Budapest means what? This was first international treaty aimed at addressing crimes committed in the internet and other computer networks. Next, we have technology and standards. So technical solutions. So by applying the technical solutions, we can give security to our data. By how? By encryption, firewalls, secure protocols, which means HTTPS, by adding a security layer to the hypertext transfer protocol, and AI-based monitoring assist in regulating the activities online. Next, we have self-regulation by private sectors. So technical companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, this create their own community guidelines, content policies and moderation systems to govern user behavior. While installing the application to our mobile phones or to our computers, these technical companies have their rules and regulations by their own. Why they have? Because to govern the user behavior. Next, ethical and social regulations. This encourages the digital citizenship, online ethics, and media literacy plays a role in shaping responsible online behavior. So, these are some of the key aspects for cyberspace regulations. So, by here, I am ending this session. In today's session, we discussed regarding the advent of internet and 3 phases of cyber security, internet infrastructure for data transfer and governance, and we come across the internet society. Then we come to know what are the regulations for cyberspace and some key aspects of cyberspace regulations. In next session, I am going to discuss regarding the concept of cyber security and issues and challenges of cyber security. Till then, keep studying. Thank you.